Hi, so welcome to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with the Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news site. Now, before we get started, please, if you're listening to this, please subscribe and give me a 5-star rating. Also, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please like and also subscribe. Now, it is the very first podcast of 2021, so thank you all so much for all your watching and listening for 2020. I'm looking forward so much to joining you guys this year. We have a great group of guests, and let's kick things off. She is a singer-songwriter and the current Miss Michigan Teen USA holder, and she's also the founder of the nonprofit M.I.R.A.C.L.E. Please let me welcome Aneesa.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Jake. Thank you. I appreciate being on here, and I'm super excited. It's crazy to think this past year has gone by so quick.
I totally agree. And thank you so much for being our first guest of 2021.
Thank you for having me as your first guest of 2021.
Alrighty. Also, so when did you get interested in music, and how did that passion evolve into the desire to pursue a career in the music industry? The first few years of my life, I figure skated, and I figure skated up until recently very competitively. And growing up in a family of many sisters who figure skated, I was exposed to a lot of different musical genres and styles, from Black Magic Woman and Santana to Beethoven. So I feel figure skating sparked my initial interest in music and the arts and creative aspect of musicality. So when I was 8 years old, I picked up my first guitar. It was a classical guitar. Then I switched to electric, and then Singer-Songwriter on a 12-string when I was about 13, 14. And since then, it's something I do every single day. Not a day I have not done something with music, whether it's singing or playing guitar. Awesome. So who are your industry role models, and how do they influence your sound?
I love Jude. Jude is actually a late 1990s, early 2000s pop artist, but also has some folk and singer-songwriter acoustic fusion into her sound as well. And I feel that resembles and kind of reflects how I write my songs and my style as well. And so she, in just her story of how she grew up and coming from a family from Alaska to Interlochen Academy in Michigan and learning how to sing and songwrite there, but facing financial troubles and still being able to live out her goal and passion of music every single day is beautiful, and it definitely inspires me.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. And I love her song, Who Will Save Your Soul?
That's my favorite song. I love that one so much.
I know. So hopefully I would love to see you and Jude collaborate in the future, Aneesa.
I would kill for that. I swear she is my inspiration.
Glad to hear. So you are the reigning Miss Michigan Teen USA. So when did you get interested in beauty pageants, and what was your reaction when you won the competition?
Well, it was overwhelming when I won, because I had never really had an interest in doing a pageant before. When I was about 13 and 14, my dad said, "Oh, you should join a pageant just to see if you kind of like being on stage, and you can do the talent portion, which is music." And so my friend at school last August 2019 had actually been doing pageants her whole life. And she told me, "Aneesa, you're on the speech team. You love to be on stage. You sing and you figure skate. Might as well just do the Miss Michigan Teen USA pageant for fun and just see how it goes." So I signed up 3 weeks before. I wore a 13-year-old dress. And I actually had to have knee surgery, but I canceled that and delayed that for the pageant. And so I'm happy I won. It was all worth it, but it's crazy, that feeling, and it's opened up so many doors for me and given me a lot of great experiences.
I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you were able to do all of that. So what were some of the challenges that you faced throughout your career, and how did you overcome those challenges?
I would definitely have to say just early on in my career, it was stage fright. You know, someone who grew up figure skating in front of an audience, music was very special to me, as it was just something I did in my bedroom, in my free time. I swear, hours a day just being in my bed and writing song lyrics and sharing that vulnerability about myself through those lyrics with audience members took me a long time to kind of get comfortable with and accept the fact that I am being vulnerable when I'm singing original songs, but I have to be okay with that because everyone can relate to song lyrics in their own special way. And so that was definitely a challenge, is just being able to open up with my songs and the lyrics and the meaning behind that.
Awesome. So while we're on the subject of songs, let's talk about 4 of them. While we're on the subject of songs, let's talk about some of those songs.
Oh, yes. So
your songs.
My goodness. Okay, so I started off, my first single I ever released was called Bad Thing. Now, Bad Thing is it kind of reflects teenage drama and teenage relationships and being inexperienced in that aspect of life. And so my observation was of friends at school getting in relationships that were toxic for them. So I felt like that appealed to teenagers, but also all ages. And so then that was last January 31st. And then June 26th this past year, I released my second song, which is called Tough Times. Now that has a message of tough times don't last, tough people do. And that specific song is very personal to me, as it was inspired by my father and him always telling me tough times don't last, tough people do. And me kind of reiterating that to him while I wasn't able to see him in his nursing and rehabilitation center after his second stroke. During the pandemic, there was no visitation. So I kind of sang that song for him in hopes that it would push him through and wait till we were able, my family and I were able to see him again, which I haven't yet, but that's okay. Tough times don't last, tough people do. And then I wrote another song called New Normal that also resembles the dynamic of relationship I have with my father, because I did live alone with him for quite a bit of my youth. And so I have many experiences with him. And then after his stroke, how that kind of was a new normal for me and him and my entire family. And now I just released my song, Happy Little Holiday, and I actually did not write this song. And it was kind of spur of the moment to record this song for the songwriters, but I'm very happy I did because I've always wanted to have a holiday single, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so.
And I was listening to Happy Little Holiday, and I gotta say, it reminded me so much of Mandy Moore's Candy, and also Britney's Santa Can You Hear Me?
Yes. The song doesn't appeal to one holiday. It appeals just to the holiday spirit and holiday season in a whole.
Awesome. So I want to talk to you about your nonprofit, Music for Miracle. So can you please give the origin story of that Music for Miracle to my audience?
Yes, so Music for Miracle is an acronym that stands for Music Inspires, Reaches, Accepts, Captures, and Loves Equally. And I truly feel that music does that because of my personal experience with seeing how music helped my father after his stroke, but also seeing how music plays a significant part in the healing process and therapeutic process of patients who are undergoing a medical crisis. During this past year in the pandemic, there was no visitation at Mott's Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And so I felt like just singing for them on Zoom and organizing artists to collaborate and FaceTime and Zoom with them for even 10 minutes out of your day saved them that feeling of everything will be okay. Instead of like medical experts and staff saying it will be, music is that feeling that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and regardless of how long, everything will really be okay. And so I constantly say music is 3 minutes, 4 minutes of no pain for them. So that's what Music for Miracle aims to do.
And it's a perfect escapism too, because a lot of there's music I listen to that I perfectly escape to. And so I'm so glad that you did that and I believe all those patients and all those kids, definitely spirits are raised.
Thank you so much. That is kind of my self-actualization. That's my passion, is just why do we listen to music in the first place? Kind of what you said, Jake. It's to ignite a feeling, whether it takes you back to a memory, but the emotional response that you have as a listener really is heartwarming.
Awesome. So besides Jewel, who are your dream music collaborators? They could be singers, they could be songwriters and producers, and how would they enhance your sound, Aneesa?
Oh my goodness, the list could go on and on, but I used to skate to a medley of Santana's, Black Magic Woman, Oye Como Va, and Smooth, along with so many other songs of his. But Santana, the guitar, he's actually the reason I started playing guitar. Listening to his crazy songs inspired me. I wanted to learn how to play every single one when I was 8 years old. And so it would be just the craziest experience if I got to collaborate a song with him and Jewel. But I also love Stevie Nicks, and Stevie Nicks and Jewel kind of fall under the same category.
Awesome. I would actually love to see Santana and Stevie Nicks really do Black Magic Woman justice.
That would be so amazing. Just thinking about her voice is just phenomenal and very unique, with Santana going crazy on the guitar.
Absolutely. So we only got a few more questions. So let's talk about social media. So what are some of your favorite social media platforms? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it Twitter? Is it YouTube? Is it TikTok?
So all social media platforms have their own they have their own benefits and they have disadvantages compared to others. There's some good things, some bad things, and you can compare them all day long. But honestly, I feel that I love Instagram because Instagram, you can upload the videos, you have the stories, they give you the analytics for business accounts and the insights, but you can also reach so many different people. And for definitely Generation Z, everyone's on Instagram. And it's the new Facebook, it's the new MySpace, and now Facebook owns Instagram, so it kind of goes hand in hand. You post on Instagram, you can link it to your Facebook account, and vice versa. So definitely Instagram.
Awesome. So if you had the opportunity to meet with some of your peers who are aspiring singer-songwriters and want to pursue a career in the recording industry, what advice would you share with them?
Very simple. Let's go. Be obsessed and be ready. Because when you're obsessed with your craft and you love it so much, no one's going to stop you. And when you're ready with it and you're developing, you're spending your time, your teenage years during your school and education years as well, where you don't have the freedom and accessibility to get out and kind of run after your dreams, you can develop your sound and your craft so much that by the time you are given that one opportunity, you are successful at it. Because this industry is so quick pace. If you're not ready, they'll move on and they'll find 100 because there's 1,000, 1,000,000 fish in the sea. But you just have to be ready and you have to be obsessed.
Sage advice, very sage advice. Now, Aneesa, where can my audience find your music and also connect with you on social?
Oh, so Instagram, my first name is Aneesa, Aneesa, last name Sheikh, Sheikh, official. So it's Aneesa Sheikh official, and that's pretty much on all social medias. That's going to be my username. You can check out my YouTube channel, my personal one, which is Aneesa Sheikh, and then my official one where I upload my music videos, which is a Vivo channel page, Aneesa Vivo. And so today, my happy little holiday song is being streamed on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon, about so many different platforms. You shouldn't be able to miss it. So check it out.
Awesome. And speaking of some of those platforms, that's a perfect way to segue into some of my stuff. Alrighty, guys. To download more episodes of the Jake Sick with Jacob Elyachar podcast, head to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just type in Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR podcast. On that, 2020 was a phenomenal year. We had so many amazing guests. Voices of Service, Sons of Sarah from America's Got Talent. We've had some Big Brother champions, including Rachel Riley visit and also Catherine Dunn. And we also had some Survivor legends in the house. Sisters Rob Sester, one of my podcast mentors, and Ethan Zahn. So you can hopefully all of those interviews will be on the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast pages on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Speakers. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Subscribe to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube channel. Once again, it's Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And also, if you want to hear some of my takes on music reviews or shows like America's Got Talent, The Masked Singer, The Masked Dancer, head to jakes-shake.com. Once again, jakes-shake.com. Aneesa, you were a pleasure to talk with.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed my time talking with you today.
And thank you so much for being our very first guest.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, have a great one, everybody.